How's it going, guys? Odds and Ends RC here. Today we're going to go over my TWS CTS VTR. I know that's a lot of initials, but this is just the chassis kit I bought a few months ago and did a video on, an overview build video. I did not get it with the Suzuki Sidekick or Geo Tracker body at the time. They were out of stock, so I just went with the chassis kit. And I went ahead and ordered the Tamiya Bronco body for it. So I always liked that body. And I knew it would be a close fit to the wheelbase. I had to lengthen the wheelbase about 5 millimeters or so to get it to fit right in the body. But it's a really nice platform for smaller bodied vehicles like these, like all the Tamiya CC-01 and CC-02 bodies. This is a great platform for that, just because it's about the same wheelbase and width and everything as the CC-02. The kit is highly adjustable as far as wheelbase. You can adjust it many different ways for wheelbase and bumper height and such and so on. I was pretty happy with it. You can see I went with this green, and when I first painted it, I didn't really care for it. I thought it kind of looked kind of John Deere-ish. But once I started adding the flat belt black accents, I started to like it quite a bit. I did the wheel wells and the black Tamiya black paint and the scoop on the hood and then the roof and everything. I did it with the Tamiya black paint, and then I went over it with the Tamiya flat clear, and it turned out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. Once I put on all the stickers and the decals and the window stickers, I'm not a big fan of. It kind of darkens it up too much. If I go with an interior later on, I think I'll cut out the window tint and peel that off. But kind of detailed the grill on it as best I could. Kind of give it a little depth by painting it black in the background. These are the TWS bumpers. They did not come with the chassis kit. I ordered them separately for $10, but if you buy the kit that comes with the body, it'll come with the bumpers. But I think they're a good fit to this body. I just did some minimal trimming on the edge of the front here, kind of line up with the wheel well, and I think it turned out pretty good. The back might need a little more trimming, but it's not bad. It's a pretty good flush look to it. You know, the body, I didn't go with the body post. I didn't want to drill holes in this body, so I went ahead and I did use magnets to mount the body, which turned out pretty good, but they're still a little bit too strong. They can be a little difficult to take on and off. I had to add some plastic washers to take away some of the strength of the magnets. I think I might need to add some more because it's still a little bit of a bear to take on and off. These wheels, I think, turned out pretty good on here. The kit comes with 1.9 plastic wheels that you're supposed to glue on the tires. I didn't care for the look of them. And these are the 155 Enjora beadlock wheels. I did a video on them a while back, but I thought they just looked perfect on here. Kind of fits the time period and everything. I thought they looked pretty good. And the tires I ended up using are the RC four-wheel drive Goodyear Wranglers, which I think they're about the right size for the, the size of a body I got on here. The wheels, I had to do a little bit of modifying to get them to fit on this chassis. The knuckle, it's got a real big knuckle on it, the way the kingpin angles in, and it was pretty much touching the wheel. So I kind of went with my Dremel and kind of went around the inside of the wheel and shaved off about 1 millimeter, and I finally got them to fit. I think it was worth it. I think it turned out pretty good. Good news is the RC four-wheel drive 155 wagon wheels, like all the white wagon wheels and chrome ones and stuff they got, they will fit on here just fine and clear the knuckle. That was going to be my second option if these didn't work. But I was pretty happy with that. I think the 1.9s were just a little too big for this body, you know, to make it, you know, it's an old Bronco. You don't want 20s on an old Bronco. But I think it turned out pretty good. I did put on some metal links on the bottom. I needed to achieve a custom wheelbase in the back. You can jump the wheelbase by 10 millimeters. The kit comes with the extra hardware to extend the wheelbase 10 millimeters. So on the back, I just needed 5, so I made some custom links and just extended it 5 millimeters. The front is all the same dimensions as factory. I just made the links the same length as the factory links. I will eventually do all the links in metal. And the drive shafts, they come with extra pieces to adjust the drive shafts. You can make the drive shafts longer, front and back. I'm gonna have to do some measuring, but I think the shorter scale Trailfinder 2 drive shafts that go on the front of the Trailfinder 2, I think they might work on here. I'm gonna take one off one of my other rigs and see if it'll line up. I'd like to get the better looking drive shafts on here, and then of course replace all the steering linkages and panhard bar and everything with the metal links. Also, I mentioned in the build video, you can build this with a axle on servo mount, or you can mount it to the chassis for a more scale look. I went with the chassis mount. But let me take the about the only other things I'm gonna do to the body is probably put a light kit in it and try to find some sliders that fit the bottom of here and look pretty good. Other than that, maybe an interior further down the road. I don't know. It'd be pretty easy to put an interior on one of these. But let me get the body off. You said it's a little bit of a bear. The magnets are kind of strong. There we go. You can see I glued the rare earth magnets to a piece of styrene. I epoxied them to it, and then I double-sided taped the styrene to the body because I didn't want the glue to kind of having a reaction to the paint on the body, so I just did that. And that way, if I ever want to use the body on something else, I can, you know, try to peel them out of there. And if you notice, these magnets got the holes in the middle. When I put them on the chassis, I left the pegs sticking up out of there, so when you put the body on, they can't be sheared back. The problem with magnet mounts is usually if they'll hold straight up and down, but they'll have a pretty easy shear force. Like if you hit something from the front, that'll pop the body right off. So if you do it this way to where the posts are sticking up a little bit to where they can stick in the magnets of the body, then it can't move back and forth. It's locked in place. I mean, that's really strong. It's not going, it'll take a tumble down the hill and it will not come off. The only problem is it's still a little bit, those magnets are still a little bit too powerful. I put some plastic washers on there, and I don't know, I think I might go with a thicker washer or something because it's still kind of hard to get off. But the only issue I ran into with this kit is everything's quiet, smooth, everything works great, but the shocks, they're really nice built up shocks. They don't leak. I haven't had any issues with them leaking, but after you let the car sit for a while, they kind of lock up, they get stiff, and you got to kind of go through and break them loose before you drive it. And that's about the only issue I've had out of it. Probably replace it with some King shocks or something like that. I don't know yet. It's probably they're probably around a 80 millimeter shock, I would imagine. But other than that, I'm really happy with this thing. I went with that budget speed controller in here. I did a video on it before. I had some issues with it, but I think I got it figured out. What was it? The IDST or something like that, 70. It's a $25 speed controller they come out with that was supposed to be better than the Hobby Wing Quick Run 1080, but at first I didn't like it. But after I got the bugs worked out of it, it's actually pretty smooth, I have to admit. Haven't had any long-term trial on it yet, but just running it around the house, it's really, really smooth. Let's see if we can fire it up here. Okay. I don't know how to come across on video, but it's really quiet. It's a really quiet drivetrain. I mean, it's kind of a gear reduction drivetrain. But I mean, you can really go slow with this. A lot of it is the speed controller though, but a lot of it is the smooth drivetrain. The only thing I could use is maybe a little bit more steering angle. This is full lock on the steering. I think I could do a little bit of modifying and get a little more out of it. It's not too bad since it's such a short wheelbase. It already turns kind of sharp, but I think I can get, there's a couple spots looks like I could maybe whittle off of and just get a hair more out of it. The bumpers on this thing are adjustable in many different ways. The end of the frame rails here, you can adjust them in and out to achieve a longer wheelbase. I adjusted it out a little bit to get this bumper to line up better with the body. These weird little bumper brackets, the bumper bolts to, you can flip them around. You can flip it upside down to get different heights of the bumper. This frame piece there can be flipped upside down to achieve a different height of the bumper. The shock towers can be moved forward several notches or back in the front and the rear. You can move them forward and back quite a bit. So if you're trying to achieve a custom wheelbase, I think this thing, what was this thing stock? I want to say it was 230 something, maybe 240 millimeter wheelbase stock. 242, I believe. And I would say you could probably easily get up to a probably 270, 275 millimeter body on here just by adjusting everything. You know, if you come up with some aftermarket drive shafts, I mean, you know, make your own links. I mean, the sky's the limit with this thing. That's why I like it. Keep in mind, it's just a trail truck. It's not like a hardcore crawler, but you know, it's got decent flex for what it is. You know, compared to the Tamiya CC-02 and CC-01, I think this is a way better option. But other than that, I think I'll probably buy another one because there's another body I'm wanting to do a custom build on. I was wanting to do something with the Tamiya F350 Ford hard body. I think this would be a perfect platform for it because it's got a skinnier wheelbase. I think a fit underneath that truck and look right. It's, you know, most like an SCX 10 Axle 10.2, 10.3. It's going to stick out the body way far and not look quite right. RC four-wheel drives kind of stick out the body a little bit too, because it's that Ford body is a small body. Let me know if you guys got any, what you think of it. You know, if you're not expecting, you know, to be a huge rock crawler or anything like that, I think it's great. You know, it does have plastic gears, but, you know, if you're just using it just for a trail truck, I think it'll hold up just fine. The differentials have metal gears in them, but the planetary transmission and transfer case does have plastic gears. But so far, they sound great, really quiet. I'm pleased as I can be with it. Like I said, let me know if you guys have one and if you guys got any custom bodies on it. But I'm really happy with it. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks. I'll see you on the next video.